Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha Kodesh. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And it's going to be an update video, a quick video dealing with this situation here, as this chicken, I guess, supplier, U.S. Quote, Franken chicken supply hit with hatchery issues as production woes may send prices higher. At this point, I think that's the last thing anybody wants to hear, as people are already feeling the pains of high prices for everyday goods and low wages to have to manage with that on top of it. So as it says here, as U.S. consumers shift from beef to chicken due to elevated supermarket prices, exacerbated by a rapid decline in U.S. cattle herds, one of the world's largest chicken producers has issued a dire warning that chicken prices could soon increase. Now, the thing on top of that is, because what they're saying here is the cause of this is a lack of eggs hatching. Okay, because when they have to mass produce these eggs, let's just say they don't always go the full natural way, right? They use certain artificial means to help speed up the process and to be able to mass produce these things. So what they're saying here, right? Bloomberg reports that Pilgrim's Pride Corp and the industry as a whole have developed hatchery issues, which means a large number of eggs in incubators aren't hatching. On Thursday, Pilgrim's chief executive officer Fabio Sandri told investors during an earnings call that hatchery issues stem from a new breed of rooster, Franken chickens, that requires closer management, indicating that this is the primary cause of the decline in fertility rates industry-wide. So this is the cause that they're mentioning here, right? But not to mention, you also have this this situation of bird flu, okay, that is going about, and it's causing large amounts of birds and different farm animals to be taken out, right? To be taken out because that's how bad it's spreading. So that's something that they're not even, including in here, as it is already. So can you imagine an inflationary environment, Biden's America, with prices going up even higher because this specific commodity or a specific item is low in stock? I mean, that's a common cause for prices increasing, right? When something is low in stock. Gold is expensive as compared to a rock, right? Because you can find a rock pretty much anywhere, as unlike gold. So the more rare something is, or the less available something is, the more expensive it is. That's one way to have prices go up. But you also have inflation, where the value of the dollar is going down. So you're combining these two, and it's not looking too good for people. I mean, how many videos have you seen on TikTok or YouTube or whatever it is, Instagram, of just people crying in their cars, talking about, majority women, but talking about how they can't take it in America anymore. This place is BS. They got to work X amount of jobs to make a living. And I mean, they're not lying for the most part, right? You do have to. It's not like it was decades ago. Like you have to do more to not to make more, but to just even maintain or survive, because that's how bad things are. But the danger is it got so incrementally bad, but the increments were so tiny that people didn't pay attention to the subtle changes. So it's like you're feeling the effects, but you're not seeing openly the changes that are causing it. This is for the average individual, except you pay attention, right? So it's like somebody that's like, I don't know, like Michael Myers or something, where you turn around, he's standing still, but then you feel him breathing behind your neck. So you never see him move, but yet you feel him right behind you. You're like, how are you getting here? Obviously he's moving. You're just not seeing him when he's moving. And that's what they're doing. They've been making this economy worse and worse and worse, but they've been doing it incrementally to where you don't see it. It's not a sudden boom. So they do it little by little by little by little by little. So anytime you turn around, you don't really see movement because it's so little. So you go back to what you're doing. Then you turn around, you don't really see movement. But guess what? Even a snail or a tortoise, if you come back 3 hours later or 6 hours later, it won't be in the same spot that it was before. Or even a sloth. Regardless of how slow they move, the point is they still move, right? You may stare at it and it may look like it's not really moving because it's moving so slow, but come back in a couple of hours, it'll be in a different location. So with that gradualistic process of making this place worse and worse and worse, but in steps to where it's hard to see the change right away, but yet you're still feeling the effects of it, that has a lot of people messed up. Because why is it that now you paying this amount for this? They're saying apparently, what was it? I was reading an article that was saying that I think was it California or so, if I'm not mistaken, that a bowl of Chipotle was like $39. So because, well, keep in mind, right? If the price of chicken goes up, it's not just chicken that goes up. I think it's easy to think of it like, oh, the price of chicken went up. So when I go to the grocery store, I'm going to buy fish instead, or I'm going to buy beef instead, just as an example. But chicken is not just the chicken you buy at the grocery store, right? This also means if you go to a restaurant or you go out to eat or you go to buy food, guess what? The same way you went to the store and said chicken is expensive, when those factories and those corporations are trying to buy chicken, it's also going to be expensive for them. So what are they going to do? Now they're going to increase the price you have to pay for that meal that you want at your favorite spot. Okay, so you go into the supermarket seeing high prices, but then you go into your deli or your restaurant and seeing high prices over there as well, because it's like a domino effect. You ain't the only one that uses chicken. Okay? Well, when you go to Chipotle and order that bowl and they scoop the chicken and put it on there, guess where do you think they get that from? you know. So anyway, let's keep on reading here. Where we at? On Thursday, Pilgrim's chief executive officer Fabio, I think I already read that. We don't have the housing to separate the males by weight. We don't have the labor to individually weigh all those males to make sure that they are not, or that they are at the optimal weight for reproduction, Sandri said. And then it goes into some statistics here and numbers here. But I mean, they've been saying it from, they've been saying it from even during the pandemic, about how prices are going to go up. Prices are going to go up. You had farmers that were even coming on video and warning. And the thing about like a supply chain is when it comes to maybe like the food supply chain, you're not going to really see these changes in a week. Okay, it's like it has to propagate and then go throughout, and then you start to feel the effects. So when they start to destroy it, when they keep warning about the destruction of the supply chain, the food supply chain, it's having an effect. But over time is when you're really going to start to see that. So things that you might have been hearing warnings about in 2019 and 2020 and even prior, you're going to start to feel the effects of it now and going forward. And you can go and read the account in the book of Genesis as to what the Egyptians had to do when when there was a famine in the land. Okay, it got so bad that not only did they run out of money, they sold their cattle, they sold their land, they sold themselves to pretty much be servants and slaves onto the Pharaoh, because that was the only way that they were going to get food to eat. So hunger is a very, very motivating factor, in case people forgot. And indeed they have, because today food is all around. I mean, you can get free food. You know, you go to places and they literally have like taste tests. You just take some right there and taste it. You know, so people are so used to easily having access to food, and the kind of foods that they eat are very like high in carbs, less in proteins, less in fiber. So it doesn't take long to digest. And when it digests, you don't really get any proper nutrients. And then people wonder why they're always so hungry. They're always so hungry. They every couple of hours they gotta, yeah, when I say couple, I mean two. Okay. They gotta put some food in their mouth. Because number one, they're used to that. Number two, the foods that they're eating are not high in nutritional value. So it's not sustaining you for long. That's why even when you fast, it feels harder because the foods that you eat are not as high in nutritional value as they were in the past. So combine all of this with the promotion of convenience. Everything is convenient. Oh, I'm hungry. Let me go on my phone and order some food, and they'll literally bring it right to my doorstep. So what happens when you take a society that is accustomed to life like that and you hit them with a famine? And surprisingly enough, there are people out there that don't know what a famine even means. They don't even know what a famine is. So imagine what they're going to do when there is no food. They're going to see clearly, all right. Anyway, let me get this precept here. This is the book because it's prophesied, right? This is a part. Famine is a part of the judgments that the Lord is going to bring upon this place to punish people. And when you read the book of Lamentations, it makes it very clear that famine. Trust me, famine is not the way you want to go out. You don't want to go out through starvation. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, verse 19. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. You hear that? Famine, famine, famine. When you read a lot of these judgments, you'll see that there's a lot of mention of famine in there. Why? Because it's a very effective means of judgment. But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. And so they see these things, they see these natural disasters, they see how bad things are getting, they see how the Lord brought judgment in the past, and for the same behavior that they're exhibiting, but they won't consider it. They won't change their ways. So what's going to happen? I'm actually going to jump down here to verse 22, because that's the main point I'm looking for. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So this tells us that it's not a surprise that you're hearing more and more about prices going up, but also one of the causes of it being a scarcity of these supplies, because it's going to get worse and worse and worse, be it a natural famine or an orchestrated one. A famine is a famine. And the reason famines are so effective is because there's only one way out. When you don't have food, there's only one solution to that. You have to eat. Okay? You have to eat. That's literally it. You gotta get some food. This isn't like a multiple choice. There isn't any other way. If you don't eat, you're gonna die, because the human body is just designed that way. Okay? So that's one of the reasons famine is such a effective control mechanism, because hey, if they came out today and said, from now on, we've confiscated all the food, right? There's nothing left. People are hungry and they're starting to riot. In order to get a food, you got to get this implant inside of your body. Day 1, you may be like, no. Day 3, you may be like, maybe. Day 5, you're going to be begging them for it. Because you say no and then you go home, guess what? The same effect. You still need food. Then you come back 3 days later, I don't think I'm gonna do it yet. All that time does is it just amplifies that feeling. And this is why having faith in Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushua is going to be crucial, because the Lord will provide us another way out, which will be by food as well, because the scriptures say that we're gonna eat, right? Isaiah 65 and 13 on down. Anyway, just wanted to bring that out, because these things are still happening. With all the things happening in the world, there's constant news left and right. But guess what? The famines, the food prices going up, the civil unrest, these are all still prophesied and set to happen. So as the scripture said, we have to pay attention, watch as well as pray. With that, Lord willing, this was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha Kodash. And until next time, Shalom.